Right, guys, welcome to the Cycle Power Show. We have today with us is Bradley Potgieter, and we'll be chatting to him about everything he's done, achieved, and will be doing for the rest of his cycling career. And he's going to give us a behind the scenes cut into what cycling is all about for people from amateur to pro levels. So, Brad, welcome.
Thank you.
And appreciate you joining us here on the show.
Good to be here.
Excellent stuff. So the first question I would like to ask you is where did cycling start for you?
My dad and I did everything together when I was growing up. So we used to fish together, and then he started cycling, and then he got a bicycle. And I just wanted to join him. It was natural just to want to do what he's doing. And then I did my first race when I was under 12. I got third, and I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. Didn't have to try too hard. So obviously there was some talent there to start with, and then from there I just carried on cycling.
So you would say that race for you at 12 years old, that first win or the sense of accomplishment that you achieved, you said, wow, this is maybe a feeling that I would want to have more often.
Yeah, I think it's in any sport. I mean, you can go do something that you don't have talent in and you never get anywhere, but you got to find that one thing that you're good at already, and you can just build on the talent, and then with hard work you can gain great results.
Excellent. So did it start off with maybe, because you said you guys went fishing, did it maybe start off with mountain biking, or was it direct straight onto the road bikes, cycling all the way the same as your father?
No, it started with the mountain bikes. I think that's a good place to start with anyone, because mountain bike you can ride off-road, on-road, pretty much do anything with that, and you also learn certain skills off-road. And then from being on the mountain bike, then it just went into road. But the road is something I enjoyed more, and also at that time it was a bigger career, so there was like a longer career path at that time, where now it's a bit more even. I mean, the mountain biking side is actually quite big.
Yeah, sure. And so obviously we have to start with that. I always remember when I got my first bike, and I can remember it had the training wheels on, it had red paint all over it. This was my first bike. So can you remember your first bike that you got?
I got my first bike that I wasn't using for competition was when I was 6, and that was a Rocky V 5-speed, I think it was. But the first proper bike that I got to do something with was a Avalanche Reflex. It was like a orangey gold color,
Nice.
very heavy, no front suspension. I think it was 7 gears at the back, triple chainring in the front. I think it was a steel frame. So I started on that, and then did my a first mountain bike ride on that, and then my dad started upgrading bits, and then it came to a point where he was on sort of a top of the range bike, and I was still on this entry level bike.
Yes.
And we were riding down it, hole in the wall, and then we had one of our arguments, and I said, I don't want to ride anymore, this is not working.
Time to upgrade.
So we swapped bikes to ride home, and then on the way home I really enjoyed it on his bike and he didn't, so after that he decided, no, it's time for upgrade.
Okay, no, that's excellent. What was that first goal that you started setting out for yourself?
So I grew up in Pietermaritzburg, so we didn't have as much competition there as we did in Joburg. So Joburg was always the place to come and sort of test yourself on a national level. The racing was still hard down there, so we had did a lot of competition down there, but then started almost getting too comfortable on that scene. So we would come up to Joburg maybe once a month, once every 2 months, just to test the form. But it started, I think, from under 12 level, then I moved into under 14, and then the target was SA Champs. So then we got a coach to try and help with some structured training, and then SA Champs was a goal under 14. That was 2003 in Balcom. So everything from under 12 basically led up to that moment, and ended up winning the SA under 14 road champs in Valcom, and then it's sort of, that was like the first big result that I made, and then it's sort of, then you gain momentum because money can't buy confidence, and then from winning SA champs at under 14 level there was confidence, and then obviously just moved forward through into under 16, which is another game, another level up, and then it's just a whole bunch of stepping stones, and you've got to take them bite-sized chunks, you know what I mean? You can't overload yourself, but it's slow and steady progress is what you need.
Of course. And would you say, obviously at that time, you're obviously still at school, still have to balance it all out. So I would assume that, taking something like SA Champs it's a big thing. So how did you manage to balance the training regime for being at a certain level in order to compete at a good level at SA Champs, and also balance your personal life with everything?
Personal life didn't really have much. You got to sacrifice something. So it was school and training. So school from 8 to 2:30, I think it was a long time ago, and then straight after school home on the bike training, homework, sleep and repeat. Your social life does take strain, but it's a sacrifice and it's a decision you have to make. Do you want to go have fun, or do you want to work towards something that's really important to you?
So I'm sure every rider has that one place that they'll continuously go to train in order to find that activation zone. Where's your favorite place that you usually go to train?
I grew up in Pietermaritzburg, so those are very familiar roads and they bring back a lot of memories. So if I need to sort of recharge or reset or refocus anything, or I've got a big goal and it feels too big, then normally go back to Pietermaritzburg and stay with my parents maybe a few days and then train those roads. And one of my favourite loops is to go out Albert Falls way and around Wartburg, Greytown, that area. That's one of the favourite, but Maritzburg, depends what kind of mood I'm in, but Maritzburg Road's definitely my favourite.
What do you have to look for in terms of championships that you attend?
So you get sort of your 3 crowns, or you get your cycle tour 94.7 Amashova, which stand out. Obviously national champs is above that, but then you get your big classics which fall just below. So I think you got to structure where you want to peak, and then you got to look at the calendar and sort of plan which events you're going to enter to try and get you on the right level. But definitely to show up for the normal big classics would be a start, and then from there you can sort of see what level you're on, and then every time you go back to a big classic it's normally similar names or thereabouts at those races, and you can sort of see yourself working up the ranks.
How long have you been cycling now?
17 years, I think.
And I think we have you here for a reason. So accomplishment wise, please give us a little bit of background on your cycle CV.
The under 14 nationals was a big one, like I mentioned, and then moving into under 16 nationals, junior nationals, going to under 23 Cup of Nations in Canada, going to the World Team Time Trial Champs was big for me, because we had to firstly be in the team to qualify, and then also qualify within the team to go there. I think the biggest accomplishment for me, which stands out the most, is the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast in Australia.
I feel I'm ready to cycle after all that information that I've received. So we do appreciate your time and you being here with us and giving us all the information. And I'm sure we're going to have you back on to discuss a little bit more things with us. And from us at the Cycle Show, we'll see you very soon.